Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Viet Kieu, where I share my personal stories as a German Vietnamese living in Ho Chi Minh City. So, today I wanted to share something that I actually experienced yesterday. And yesterday I had a chat with a student, and she had taken her test, and in the end it didn't turn out as well as or as good as she wanted to. So I was like talking to her, finding out what the problem was, right? And she was like, hey, I feel like since I'm in B1 class, things are so much harder, and I can't really focus, and I don't remember all the vocabulary. And I was like, okay, that's a common problem for B1 students, right? Because many topics that you had in A1, A2 are quite similar, but as soon as you get into B1 level, they're different. But she was like, yes, that's one part, but on the other hand, it's like I feel like I can't retain the information anymore. So I was like, okay. And I was checking on her, okay, when do you actually study, right? So we listed out her whole daily plan, and turned out that she is studying in the morning, a normal class in the morning, and then in the afternoon she blocks her time to go out with friends and have fun and do her daily chores. And then in the end, in the evening, she would do her dinner, and then she would do her homework at 10 p.m. So bear in mind that her class was in the morning from 8:30 to 11:45, and then the whole afternoon she would do something completely different and then get back to the studies at 10. And I was like thinking, okay, so if you do that, do you feel like you're really focused in the evening? And she was like, honestly, I'm quite tired, but then I still have to do the homework, right? And I was like, yes. And then she even added, oh, before the exam I would even wake up at 4 a.m. to practice again, to recap. And I was pointing out to her, okay, yes, you structured your day according to slots. So from 8:30 to 11:45 you do your class, and then you have lunch, and then from 1 to 2 you take a nap, and then you go into a cafe. So it feels to me that you take every hour really serious and put something in there. You block that slot, right? And she was like, yes. And then I was like asking her, but how do you feel at the end of the day? How do you feel at 9 or 10 p.m. when you study? And she's like, I'm actually quite tired. And that reminded me of something that I learned a couple of years ago. Is back then when I started the Business Deutsch campus and everything, I felt like I was really busy during the week, and I was similar to her, trying to make the most of the weekend by blocking all the slots and squeezing something in. Whenever someone asked me, hey Thomas, do you want to meet up? I was like, sure, let me look at my calendar, and I will see that slot of 90 minutes from 8 to 9:30. Hey, can you meet there and stuff? But honestly, living like this, always squeezing something into stuff, I personally thought I would be really productive, and I also was quite happy to hear the praise of others. Wow, you're so organized, Thomas. But after a couple of months, I also realized that living like this is actually really draining, because you work from Monday to Friday, and then on the weekend you're like back to back. It feels more like a meeting, right? Business meeting, back to back, but not really relaxing and meeting people. So what I also told the student, and what I realized for myself, is it's actually not about scheduling a day according to time slots. It's not actually about time management. I realized it's more about energy management. How often do I actually get up and start my day with 100% of energy, right? Sometimes I sleep worse, and then I just start off with 70%. Or how often is it that throughout the day I feel like, I still have 80% to go, or I actually just have 20, especially after like hard meetings or a lot of work, right? So after a while, I tried to schedule my days, or my weekends especially, according to energy slots. So, and I also realized, the first time I did it, I was like, I just have 3 activities. That's not really productive, isn't it? So I still had to overcome those challenges, or the transition from time management to energy management. But after trying this for a couple more weeks and months, I feel so less stressed, and also so much yeah, I enjoy the time way more, simply because I allow myself to be more present. I allow myself to spend this time more in terms of quality wise with the person. I'm more present. Before that, whenever I had like back-to-back meetings, I was like, during the meetup I was like looking at the clock. Oh, I still have like 15 minutes left before I have to go. It was constantly on a rush. But scheduling according to energy is like so much more freeing as well, right? And now that I schedule my slots on the weekend according to energy, I also realized, looking at the energy more than the time, I realized that especially also if I meet someone in the morning, if it's something important, then I can also put something in between or afterwards that would re-energize me. So I also learned, similar to classroom management, where you also have to look at the energy level of the students. Okay, are they tired now after hard listening? Maybe I should do something fun. I do that with my personal life as well now. So I look at my life more from the lens of, okay, how much energy is this activity going to take me? Okay, is it taking my energy because I have to focus or I have to be present, or is it an event or an activity that actually recharges me? So now my calendar looks more like this. Morning run or doing this video, okay, it's not the first thing that I would like to do to wake up, but afterwards I always go do something like writing my blog or my book, while enjoying my sip of coffee, because it gives me the energy. And afterwards I will do something else. So now, instead of having, like back then I had like 7 or 8 activities a day on Saturdays and on Sundays, now I just block my slot quite easy and freely. And yeah, that was just my take on that, especially because I just had the chat with my student. Keep in mind, it's not about time management, but energy management. And what about you? How do you schedule your day? Are you also more like the person who has a planner and plans everything out in detail? Do you go with the flow? Write it in the comment below and let me know. And see you next week for another episode of Viet Kieu, where we walk and talk. Peace out.